Welcome, people of the internet. It is I, Swir Gamer, and today I want to talk about the upcoming banners in Genshin Impact. So, as you may already know, the new banners will bring us two 5-star characters, Hutao and Yelan, for us to pull for. And while they are both amazing characters, you cannot usually choose both of them. In that situation, for which one should you pull for? I want to talk about that and also answer this question, more or less. But first, I think we should take a detour and talk about, in my opinion, the real star, that being the weapon banner, featuring two account-changing weapons, Aqua Simulacra and Staff of Homa. First, let's talk about Aqua. It's safe to say that it is one of, if not the best bow for DPS characters in Genshin, or at least up there with like Skyward Harp. In terms of versatility at least, its most prominent qualities are very high crit damage main stat, and I mean you can't really go wrong with that. And as well as it has a versatile passive that can be easily triggered and utilized by most, if not all, damage dealing characters. You can basically use this on any DPS character. This supports would more likely opt for an Elegy of the End. But yeah, this bow is absolutely amazing. And as for the other weapon, I don't think it needs an introduction. Staff of Homa is often said to be the best polearm or even weapon in the game. It also has the same qualities as Aqua, that being a crit damage main stat, as well as a versatile passive. What sets it apart though is that it's technically and mathematically speaking the best in slot weapon for all of the polearm characters, except Cyno and maybe Raiden, but don't count me on that, I don't know and I don't really carry that. And even if not best in slots, it's probably second best. But it is best in slot damage-wise weapon for characters like Xiangling. And I know you have her, I mean, if that hasn't changed yet, you can get her for free for beating Spylaber's floor 3. Free. So yeah, Staff of Homa is the GOAT. And while both of these weapons are exceptionally astounding in their performance, putting the weapon banner at overall extremely high value, it might even be the best one to date. But that is pretty subjective. And I don't want to say that not pulling on it is a sin or a bad thing to do, because I don't want to force anybody to do so. But yeah, it can pretty much change your account, any of these weapons. They're both astounding. And now for the main deal, for the real deal, main part, that being the characters. Just a little warning though, this part might get a little subjective, so keep a heads up for that.
Man up! You're just imagining things! Huh? Who are you? Quick!
First up, Hutao, considered by many to be the best DPS in the game. As a Hutao hover myself, I don't like about Hutao is her charge attack gameplay, as you basically have to use them due to them having the highest scalings out of all of her normal attacks, and I mean the ones contained within normal talent or something. It basically forces you to use your stamina on them, otherwise you can cause a severe damage loss, meaning no running and no dodging, which, let's be honest, is a problem. A strong shield like Zhongli or even Diona can help with one of these, but it will still lack some movement capabilities. Also, there is the thing with her having a damage bonus at lower HP, meaning the shield is basically needed. But let's be real, having a damage bonus, in my opinion, is pretty fine, but staying alive should be the priority. So to be honest, Hutao is a fine choice, but a really fine if you're going for C1. Otherwise, I wouldn't recommend it, to be honest, because she feels really clunky without it. You can't really sprint, that's basically about it. Don't get me wrong, her damage is still exhilarating, and you can still pull for her just because you like her, nobody's judging. She's hot. I'm just saying that her C0 gameplay might leave you with minor brain damage, that's all. That's all. Her damage is still amazing. So if you don't know what Hutao does, her normal attacks are just normal attacks. Her skill boosts her damage and infuses her normal attacks with Pyro based on her max HP. And then her First is just a nuke, a really strong one at that. It has really strong scaling. So that's about all for Hu Tao. And as for the second character...
Been waiting long? I figured. Well, the waiting game is over.
Yelan, she's also an amazing character. And you all know Xingqiu, considered by pretty much everybody to be one of the best 4 stars in the game. One of the 4 best, in fact. Yelan is his 5-star variant, which is a very good thing. She does more damage than Xingqiu, and she also has better synergy with some other characters. Those characters are not actually Hu Tao, which is on the banner with her. I mean, you can still use her, Yelan, with Hu Tao, and you can also pair with Xingqiu. That is also a thing you can do. But characters that want Yelan are those who attack faster, like Yuimiya or perhaps Fartface. The Wanderer. She also has great capabilities outside battle, that being her movement, by which I mean her health skill makes her dash, and simultaneously fast as f***. In speed she is only outmatched by Wonder, I think, but she does win over him with distance, a worthy choice for those in need of a powerful support and also would like to move faster. Her normal attacks are, again, normal attacks. Her skill can be upped to quickly bind enemies and deal some damage to them. It also generates particles, while holding her skill makes her like this weird dash thingy, and it makes her do the dash thingy, and she can just bind the enemies, and then after the skill ends, they just explode. And then there's her burst, which just acts and works the same as Xingqiu's, but they can proc faster than Xingqiu's, so that's a thing. That was pretty much all about the characters, and to sum it up, both of them are fine picks. But as for myself, I'd prefer to have 2 Hu Taos rather than 1, but she still does a good job, don't get me wrong. And Yelan is an amazing character. I personally will be pulling for her. And while this video was supposed to guide your choice, I don't want to force anybody into pulling a specific character. Not that anybody's gonna take this video seriously, probably. But you should always remember that what matters most is which character does your account want more, and obviously your own liking of said characters. So you know, your premise, your choice. And as for those curious, I will also talk about character building in the next additional section. You can skip it if you don't care, you can just use the timestamps. So yeah, now that the scripted section is over, I'm going to proceed to the build part. So it is not even my account. We have a Yelan here, and let's talk about Yelan. So let's first of all start with her weapon options. So basically, most of the weapons that you probably already have will work perfectly fine with her. For example, the Skyward Harp that is currently equipped on her is pretty nice. Her signature weapon also being the best one for her, and Elegy for the End also being a pretty nice weapon. Her 4-star options are not limited to, in fact, Fading Twilight, her free-to-play bow that was accessible during an event like a year ago. I don't remember when, but when she dropped her banner, first drop. A sacrificial bow can be also used for her to, let's just say, simulate her Constellation 1. Pavonius Warbow, you get this one for free. It is also a pretty nice weapon for her. And I think she can also use Stringless. And for 3-star options, I don't really know. There was this one with HP, if I remember correctly. Oh, this one, yeah. Recurve Bow, she can also use this one, if you want to. And as for her artifacts, this is a no-brainer. She wants Emblem of Severed Fate as her best damage-wise set. It can be mixed with Noblesse 2-piece, or perhaps you can also use Noblesse 4-piece, but that is not recommended. And for the stats on the other artifacts, you want HP on Sands, a Hydro damage bonus goblet, usually. I think an HP goblet would also work. As for her hats, you usually want crit, as her damage is pretty nice. She deals a lot of damage, so a crit would be... some crits would be nice. Now, with her talents, this is actually a pretty nice showcase of how you should level them accordingly. Yeah, this is also correct. You can use the talent upgrade recommendation. So basically, her burst is her most prominent skill. This is her main quality. You use it most often, as she is the support character. Her skill mostly is used to just mid-combat, is just used as a tap one. Just generate some particles. This held version is mostly used in the overworld as for movement. And her normal attacks, they are not really too useful. Except one thing, when she does her skill, if I remember correctly, she can fire a breakthrough barb, which has a nice AoE, so you can level this up according to your own preference. And I'm gonna just put a graph over so that you can see her priority in numbers. I just put the 10 as the most necessary one. And then the rest are placed or counted according to the highest one. So her constellations, her C1 is pretty... I just got pinged. As for her constellations, her C1 is nice. It doesn't do much in terms of like complicated stuff. It just adds another charge of her skill, which, as I said, can be basically simulated by a sacrificial bow in combat, not in overworld. Yeah, this is pretty much self-explanatory. This basically increases the amount of projectile your burst fires, which is a pretty nice support damage increase. This is just a standard upgrade. This is just a max HP increase for all of the party members, which is not really going to be utilized by many characters, but it can be useful with characters like, for example, Hu Tao. This is her Constellation 5, is another just straight up upgrade. And her C6 is an absolute monstrosity of a constellation, as it basically turns Yelan into one of the best DPSs in the game. As you remember these breakthrough barbs that she can shoot? Yeah, basically it makes her normal attacks fire them and deal hydro damage, which it deals a lot of damage. Yeah. So that was pretty much Yelan. Also, her main stats on the artifacts, I think you should focus on HP, energy recharge, crit, damage, and rate. Both of these. Those are the stats that you should be aiming for. But just remember, artifacts are rigged. You shouldn't care about that too much. And that was pretty much all for Yelan. She's amazing. You can pull for her if you want. If you want a support for example, like a Yoimiya, you can use her with Hu Tao. You can use her with Ayaka. Yeah, you can basically use her in any team. Like, she's just so useful. Like, let's be honest. So now our other character that we're going to go through is Hu Tao. Of course, this is actually my account. I forgot to get rid of these characters. Hold up, just back to the build. So Hu Tao is she is a strong DPS, even though all of the things I said about her, with her charge attack mechanic gimmick being kind of clunky, she is an amazing DPS. She still will do a lot of damage if you invest in her. That is as a fact. That is just her. She's an amazing DPS. Let's start just with her weapons. Her weapons are her best options are obviously her signature, Staff of Homa, and the new, not really new, but Cynospear. Also, I just look at the polearm is going through her. That's weird. Anyway, so basically, yeah, her 5-star options are Staff of Homa and Staff of Scarlet Sands, while her 4-star options are mainly, but not limited to, Deathmatch, which is a battle pass weapon. It's really good on her. Nice passive. Can utilize it. Blackcliff Pole is also a really nice choice. You can get it from the shop. Not in this month. You have to wait though. Also has a nice passive. And her another pick is Dragon's Bane, which is just nice for reaction teams. For example, like Vaporize with Xingqiu or Yelan. You can also take white tassel on her or black tassel. That is, both of them are good, but you're not really going to utilize white tassel's passive as well as black tassel's. Or maybe you will. Now, black tassel's passive is a mystery. Anyway, white tassel, nice option. Yeah. And if you don't have these, I mean, you should have at least a white tassel. Then I don't really know. Missive Windspear? Perhaps? Anyway, as for her artifacts, Utao has 2 sets that are pretty much best for her. That being Crimson Witch is probably her best set. And then her second option is Shimenawa Reminiscence, the set that I'm running on Yumiya. You know this one. Yeah. But one thing about Shimenawa, just if you plan on getting Shimenawa on Hutao, it's a pretty easy to farm set. It has it comes with emblem, so you can farm that pretty easily. But it makes you want to unalive yourself, because your burst is just going to be gone most of the time, and her burst, we're going to talk about that in a minute. It deals a lot of damage. It has some nice scalings, but yeah, so just Shimenawa is not really that great. You can also use Crimson Witch with Tenacity of the Mildev. Yeah, this one. Or you can also use Crimson Witch and Wanderer's Troop. As for her talents, here I should warn you, this is a very important, it's not a joke, I've done the math. This is wrong. Her normal attacks should be first. Her normal attacks have the highest priority, because this way you gain more damage. It's not really that much of a difference, but it doesn't change how much you need resources you need to use on her. So yeah, her normal attacks have the highest priority. Then her skill and her burst should also be leveled up to a pretty high level, because you're gonna use them, unless Shimenawa, but we don't speak about Shimenawa around these parts. And as for constellations, this is what I've been talking about. Her C1 is pretty much a must, as it makes her charge attacks not consume any stamina. Her C2, I actually forgot what it does. Ah yes, I actually forgot that she does the bloom damage thing. The blood blossom, just a thing that her skill applies. Yeah, that probably if you run Hutao, you're also going to absolutely forget about that. But yeah, it just deals some damage. It's just a slight damage increase. His C3 is just standard constellation level up. Her C4 is also a pretty nice crit rate increase. More crit rate is always welcome. C5 is standard, and C6 is also really good, as basically most of the 5-star C6s, Constellation 6. Yeah, it basically makes her survive on 1 HP, and it also gives her a crit rate and a damage increase. Yeah, does it give her damage increase? I don't really know. It's a damage increase. That's what it is, and can help with your survivability. Other things I should mention about Hu Tao, that's her idol animations are pretty nice. She has a nice voice actor in Japanese. You should check that out. I don't play in Japanese, just because I got used to English. I do have Japanese dub. I could show her. Hu Tao, come on, do something. Oh. Yeah, that's pretty nice. Wouldn't you agree? So yeah, that was pretty much for both of the featured characters on the next banner. I don't know when this video will be uploaded, but at the moment, as you can see, we have 3 days and 3 hours left until the banner. You can check me out on that time. I'm going to be pulling for Yelan personally, because as you can see, I already have Hu Tao, and also I will be getting a weapon. So yeah, not C1. Just personally, Yoimiya main. I prefer Yoimiya over Hu Tao. Requires you to do much less thinking, more spamming. But yeah, both of the characters are astounding. The weapon banner is amazing. So I should talk about the 4 stars, I think, because yeah, Xingqiu is a pretty obvious pick. Xingqiu can be used with Hu Tao easily, and then there's Beidou. Beidou can be used with Yelan in a pretty fun way in a taser comp. And for example, like Fischl and Sucrose, yeah, they can be used pretty efficiently. And yeah, the weapon banner is amazing. These 2 weapons are one of the best, if not the best, of their kind. You should definitely keep that in mind. I don't recommend pulling on the weapon banner as you are free to play, or just have small amounts of Primogems. That is a pretty common occurrence, if you ask me. But yeah, that was all for today. Check me out. I'm going to be streaming. I don't really know if you enjoyed this video. It's probably really scuffed. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and see you guys next time. I may break down next banners. So goodbye. Oh shit.